Thank you for being with me on this Thursday. Meteorologist Brian Shields, thank you for taking the time to subscribe and share this channel. I want to get to an update on these earthquakes that we've had. Nothing crazy, but definitely this has been an earthquake cluster. We've seen a lot through here the last couple days of a decent magnitude. As I mentioned, nothing super high. We haven't had any damage, but this is a new one that we just had just to the north of the British and U.S. Virgin Islands, 4.0 in magnitude. So we had that. Then yesterday morning, we had this over toward the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, another 4.0. And just a couple days ago, there was another one. So when you get 3 of 4 in magnitude or greater, it's kind of a little bit of a cluster right there. So waiting to see if we get more. This one was 4.4 a couple days ago on the south coast of Puerto Rico, in which a lot of you left some comments. We were going back and forth. A lot of us did feel that. So yes, there has been some activity out there, and I will be watching that very carefully as we go forward. Now, I want to get to what we're seeing on the big picture, and with some of the cooler weather some of us have had. Some of us have also had some rain. St. Lucia, we've had rain. Others not so much, but a new system that is going to start to build. This is the one we've been tracking this week. This one, and I'll show you in a second, will bring more of a northerly flow to parts of the Caribbean. This one will move by, and it will move into Florida by tomorrow night and the northern Bahamas. Parts of the Bahamas, Florida, and southeast of the United States. Some of the coldest weather we've had this winter moving in. And you see here, these showers here, this will work in. Look at that rain over toward Bermuda as we get into tomorrow. Here's the front. It starts to work its way through the Bahamas, Cuba, and near Belize. I'll show you the change in the winds, and that will bring in some of the cooler weather in a moment. This is by Saturday, and I'll dive down into the Caribbean. And then as we get into Sunday, a lot going on in the western U.S. and Canada. We will see another front approach. It's a very El Nino winter. Front after front. And look at this, by Sunday and Monday of next week, a buildup of moisture in the Gulf of Mexico. I'm not going to see, not looking at a storm system developing, but we're going to see an increased chance of rain near Belize, El Salvador, Guatemala, parts of Mexico. So that'll be something to watch for early next week, a better chance of rain in the Gulf. Now, let me get to the seas, very important. See the color coding here in meters, feet on the right-hand side of your screen to get you covered. Either way, we've had the gusty winds through the Caribbean. Seas have roughly been about 2 to 3 meters. But as we work our way into tomorrow, that next system, that next cold front works into the Bahamas, near Cuba, Florida, getting close to the Cayman Islands. Choppier seas as we work our way into the Gulf of Mexico. And this is Saturday, Gulf of Mexico, 2 to 3 meters. Same thing still in the Caribbean. Of course, the higher seas of about 5 meters or upwards of 17 plus feet off the coast of the mid-Atlantic in the Northeast. So it's been a little treacherous out there, navigating some of the waters with front after front. Now, for today, still breezy. You see the winds across the Caribbean out of the east, gust of about 56 kilometers to 35 miles per hour in some spots, northern Venezuela, northern Colombia, back through the south coast of Jamaica. It's been breezy, but the winds out of the south. But look at this by tomorrow with that next front moving in. This is late on our Friday. There's the northerly breeze. In this northerly or northeasterly breeze gets more south, so it includes more of us in the Caribbean. So let me go from Friday into Saturday here, and I'll stop the clock here Saturday afternoon. This northeasterly breeze all the way down through Nicaragua, for example. Northeasterly breeze, parts of Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Cuba, and a hint of a northerly breeze, especially on the north coast of Haiti and back through the Dominican Republic. And then as we get into Sunday, winds turn more out of the east, but still the northeasterly breeze in here, and some gusty winds across the Bahamas on Sunday. Some of the winds could be gusting upwards of 70 kilometers an hour, 45 miles per hour. So heads up there and across Cuba, some gusty northeasterly winds. And then we'll watch out for our next system that will move in as we get into the second half of the weekend and early next week. As we get a closer look, Guyana heads up, more areas of rain. We haven't had a lot of flooding, but we're going to see more rain today. Let me know if you do have any areas of flooding. Put your location, what you got going on in the comments as we move forward from today into tomorrow. You see here a few showers, northern sections. The front that's moving in north of us, or at least into the Bahamas and Florida, doesn't have a lot of rain with it. But then that's what I was talking about. By the time we get into Saturday and eventually Sunday, We're going to see a little more rain developing over here, so I'll keep an eye on that. Could be a pattern kind of coming in from the Pacific that feeds in more moisture for some of us across Central America later this weekend into early next week. Now, Jamaica, rain chance about 30%. We'll get some slightly cooler weather with the next front once it moves in this weekend. Cayman Islands will get some cooler weather this weekend, 20 to 30% chance of a shower, and a 30% chance Trinidad and Tobago, keeping an eye on a few spotty showers. Grenada, the rain chance a little higher, and it's been higher. We've had a little more rain in Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines over the last 4 to 5 days. 40% chance today in Barbados, a 30% chance tomorrow in Barbados. St. Lucia, we had some of that rain yesterday. Still a few spotty showers around. Rain chance holding at 40%, a 40% chance in Martinique, and about a 20 to 30% chance over the next 2 days in Dominica. Dominica could see a couple more showers possible as we get into Saturday. Rain chance 20 to 30% in Guadeloupe, and a 20 to 30% chance Antigua and Barbuda. St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat, rain chance about 30%, and a 30% chance Anguilla and St. Bart's, and a 30% chance St. Martin, Saba, and Statia. And with that breeze coming in out of the east and northeast, could get clipped by a shower in Puerto Rico, but not a ton. More of an easterly flow today. It'll be more out of the northeast by the time we get into Saturday. British and U.S. Virgin Islands, rain chance about 20%, a 20 to 30% chance across the Dominican Republic, and back toward Haiti, mainly dry. Rain chance about 5 to 10%. 40% chance across the Bahamas. We'll see some spotty showers, especially as that front moves in tomorrow and tomorrow night. We'll see a couple of those showers around. Rain chance stays limited, Turks and Caicos, and only a 20% chance as we work our way into Cuba. As the front moves in, and we'll get some cooler nights in Cuba this weekend. There's just not a lot of rain with it, but the rain chance bouncing up tomorrow in Belize. I mentioned that surge of moisture near the Gulf of Mexico. That rain chance may be even a little higher. Belize and the Yucatan, Guatemala, we'll see that rain chance bump up and over toward Honduras. Rain chance 20% as we work our way into Aruba today, but just a 10% chance tomorrow. Same thing in Curacao and Bonaire. Now, tomorrow with that front moving in to Bermuda, that rain chance goes way up with those high seas. I showed you the seas at the beginning of this video. Rain chance limited across Costa Rica, but again, today in Guyana, a higher chance of rain. Isolated areas of flooding. Suriname, about a 40% chance, and a 20% chance in northern Venezuela. So, watching this earthquake swarm. Again, the last few days, we've had a few around the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and the British and U.S. Virgin Islands. Keep an eye on that. Sometimes you get these swarms or kind of clusters of earthquakes. There's not necessarily a big one followed by aftershocks. Different pattern with this. So this may continue the next few days. We had that in December. The next front getting closer with those northerly winds moving in, and I'll continue overall to monitor those earthquakes. So thank you for being with me. Have a great rest of your day.